I'm not saying Puffy not guilty on majority stuff. He'd probably be more happy in prison than in the streets, because at least in prison, he can get all the baby oil he wants. Puffy had sex with too many higher-up people in the industry. Now, I'm not talking about women. It's the big world, but it's a small circle. Ray J and Puffy definitely were lovers. It was a murder for hire hit. Only person know the truth, the real truth, is me and Tupac.
Suge, do you believe that Diddy and/or Snoop Dogg were directly involved in that shooting?
And I could have been the asshole and released that audio. Releasing that audio would have put Snoop in prison for the rest of his life.
We're returning to Diddy's sex trafficking trial now. I'm joined on the line by a guest who knows Diddy very well. Suge Knight is the founder and former CEO of Death Row Records. He joins me on the phone from the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego, where he's serving a lengthy jail sentence. Suge Knight, welcome to Uncensored.
In a startling new revelation that has sent shockwaves through the music world, Suge Knight, the infamous former rap mogul, has publicly accused Sean Diddy Combs of orchestrating the murder of Tupac Shakur. These explosive claims have reignited one of the most enduring mysteries in hip-hop history, Tupac's untimely and violent death, and thrown the spotlight once again on the dark, tangled web of power, rivalry, and betrayal that surrounded the East Coast-West Coast rap feud of the 1990s. For decades, fans, investigators, and insiders have speculated about who was truly responsible for Tupac's assassination, which remains officially unsolved to this day. Suge Knight's latest allegations add a new and controversial chapter to this saga, challenging previous theories and fueling heated debates across social media, news outlets, and within the music industry itself. The weight of his accusations carries significant gravity given Knight's own complicated history as a key figure in the rap world, notorious for his involvement in violence and intimidation, but also deeply entwined with Tupac's career and legacy. Adding another layer to this unfolding drama is Suge Knight's current status behind bars, serving a prison sentence that has only amplified his mystique and influence. From his cell, Knight has become both a source of fear and fascination, and his bold statements about Diddy reveal a man still deeply connected to the industry's shadowy undercurrents. His prison life has not silenced him. Instead, it seems to have emboldened him to speak out on issues long shrouded in silence. As we dive into these revelations, it's clear that this is more than just another celebrity feud. Suge Knight's accusations expose the brutal reality of a music empire, where loyalty as a currency and power often comes at a deadly cost. The stakes are high, not only for those involved directly, but for the entire hip-hop community grappling with its history of violence and the legacy of its fallen icons. Prepare for an in-depth look at Suge Knight's shocking claims, the background of the Tupac murder mystery, and the ripple effects these revelations could have on the entertainment world. This is a story of secrets, survival, and the search for truth in a world where the lines between friend and foe are dangerously blurred. Tupac Shakur's murder remains one of the most infamous and enduring mysteries in music history. On the 20th night of September 7th, 1996, Tupac was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. Despite efforts to save him, the legendary rapper succumbed to his injuries 6 days later, at just 25 years old. Since then, countless theories and speculations have surrounded his death, but no definitive answers have emerged. The case officially remains unsolved, leaving a cloud of uncertainty and intrigue that continues to captivate fans and investigators alike. Tupac's murder occurred at the height of the East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry, a bitter feud that divided the rap industry and fueled tensions between record labels, artists, and their entourages. Amid this backdrop, Sean Diddy Combs, the founder of Bad Boy Records and a towering figure in East Coast rap, was often cast as a key player in the drama. Although Diddy and Tupac were never publicly at odds in the way other figures were, his label and alliances were deeply enmeshed in the power struggles of the era. Diddy's controversial reputation has long included accusations of involvement in various violent incidents and underhanded business dealings, though he has never been legally implicated in Tupac's death. His rise to fame was marked by both commercial success and allegations that painted a picture of an industry mogul willing to wield influence aggressively. The connection between Diddy and the East Coast rap scene, often viewed as Tupac's adversaries, has fueled rumors and speculation that have persisted for decades. At the center of much of this turmoil is Suge Knight, the former CEO of Death Row Records and a towering figure in Tupac's life and career. Knight was with Tupac in the car when the shooting occurred and has long been suspected in various conspiracy theories surrounding the murder. Known for his intimidating presence and ruthless tactics, Suge Knight's influence on West Coast rap was immense, and his relationships with both Tupac and Diddy were complex, fraught with rivalry and uneasy alliances. Suge Knight's own history is as controversial as it is notorious. A former football player turned music executive, Knight built Death Row into a powerhouse that shaped the sound and culture of hip-hop in the 1990s. However, his career has been marred by legal troubles, including convictions for assault and murder-related charges, and he is currently serving time in prison. From behind bars, Knight's voice carries a new kind of weight, one that now threatens to alter the narrative around Tupac's death and the shadowy figures involved. His recent statements alleging that Diddy ordered Tupac's killing must be understood within this tangled context. Knight's claims challenge previous narratives and inject fresh controversy into an already volatile history. These accusations come not just from a figure with intimate knowledge of the era, but from a man whose own legacy is intertwined with the violence and power struggles that define the period. The significance of Suge Knight's prison revelations extends beyond the shock value of the accusations. They represent a potential turning point in how we understand the inner workings of the hip-hop industry's most turbulent chapter. His testimony could force a re-examination of long-held beliefs, invite renewed investigations, and spur broader conversations about accountability, power, and justice within the music world. In this broader narrative, Diddy's legacy hangs in the balance, not only as a music mogul, but as a figure whose past actions are now under intense scrutiny. Tupac's murder, once seen as a tragic but isolated incident, is revealed as part of a much larger, darker saga that continues to unfold. As we watch this story develop, the music industry and its fans are forced to confront uncomfortable truths about the price of fame and the hidden battles fought behind the scenes. Suge Knight's recent allegations that Sean Diddy Combs ordered the killing of Tupac Shakur have sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry and reignited heated debates surrounding one of hip-hop's darkest chapters. These explosive claims, made public from prison, represent some of the most direct accusations linking Diddy to Tupac's untimely death, accusations that have long been whispered but never openly asserted with such force. The context of these allegations is as critical as their content. Knight, currently serving a prison sentence, has seized the moment to reveal what he describes as hidden truths about the infamous Las Vegas shooting. His statements have surfaced in a series of recorded interviews, prison letters, and leaked documents that paint a vivid and disturbing picture. In these disclosures, Knight asserts that Diddy orchestrated the attack on Tupac as part of a power play within the music industry, an attempt to eliminate a rival and solidify his own control. Knight's claims are not made lightly. They come from a man deeply embedded in the West Coast-East Coast rap feud, someone who was with Tupac on the night he was shot, and who has first-hand knowledge of the tensions and alliances that defined that era. By accusing Diddy, Knight is turning a glaring spotlight on the East Coast's influence in what was often portrayed as a West Coast conflict. This reframes the narrative from one of regional rivalry to one of calculated industry politics and personal vendettas. Critics and supporters alike have questioned Suge Knight's motivations behind these revelations. Some argue that his timing, coming from behind bars where he faces his own legal battles, could be an attempt to manipulate public perception or gain leverage. Others see it as a bold act of truth-telling, a final reckoning by a man who wants to clear his conscience or expose corruption that has long been hidden from the public eye. The controversy surrounding Knight's statements also revolves around the credibility of a figure whose reputation is fraught with violence and legal troubles. While his proximity to Tupac and the events of 1996 lends weight to his claims, his history of making bold and sometimes unsubstantiated assertions has made many wary. The challenge lies in distinguishing between fact, personal vendetta, and strategic posturing, especially in a case that has been shrouded in mystery for over 2 decades. Nevertheless, Knight's allegations are backed by some circumstantial evidence and corroborating whispers from industry insiders. Over the years, there have been hints that Diddy's camp was involved in questionable activities surrounding Tupac's death, though none have been as explicitly stated as Knight's accusations. This new narrative challenges the official investigations and the widely held belief that Tupac's murder was the result of random street violence or gang retaliation. Suge Knight's claims further disrupt the image of Diddy as the untouchable mogul. Instead, they portray him as a calculating power player who allegedly used intimidation and violence to eliminate threats. This stark portrayal forces fans, industry professionals, and the public to re-examine the legacy of a man who has built a multi-billion-dollar empire, but whose past is now scrutinized like never before. Moreover, these revelations cast a long shadow over the culture of silence and fear that has historically permeated the hip-hop world. The willingness of a figure like Knight to speak out publicly may encourage others with knowledge of the incident or similar events to come forward. It also raises questions about the extent to which power dynamics in the music industry have obstructed justice and protected influential figures from accountability. The broader implications of Knight's allegations touch on issues of trust, truth, and the search for justice in an industry where fame often shields wrongdoing. For Tupac's fans and those seeking closure, these claims add a new layer of complexity and sorrow to an already tragic story. They challenge us to reconsider the forces at play behind the scenes and the price paid by those caught in the crossfire. As the trial and investigations continue to unfold, the weight of Suge Knight's testimony will undoubtedly be a focal point. Whether these allegations lead to new evidence, legal consequences, or merely fuel ongoing speculation, they have already succeeded in reigniting interest and scrutiny. The music world watches closely as one of its most polarizing figures confronts the past in a way that could reshape history. Suge Knight's life behind bars has been as tumultuous and controversial as his career outside prison walls. Once a towering figure in the hip-hop industry, Knight's incarceration has not diminished his influence. If anything, it has added a new, complex layer to his persona. From prison, he continues to wield a certain power, both through his statements and his connections within the music world. Since his imprisonment, Knight has maintained a steady stream of communication with the outside world. Through interviews, letters, and recorded messages, he has kept the spotlight on himself and the dark secrets of the entertainment industry. His recent allegations against Diddy regarding Tupac's murder fit into this pattern of provocative declarations, where he blends personal vendettas with claims of revealing hidden truths. Life in prison often forces reflection, and for Knight, it appears to have deepened his resolve to expose what he sees as the corruption and violence that shaped his world. Behind bars, he faces not only the harsh realities of incarceration, but also the burden of his legacy. This setting has given him a platform to tell his side of the story, potentially with fewer filters and more urgency than when he was navigating the industry's public eye. However, prison also complicates Knight's credibility. Critics argue, and that his statements might be influenced by his circumstances, whether as a way to bargain for leniency, distract from his own legal woes, or maintain relevance. The environment of confinement, coupled with the stakes he faces, can sometimes skew motivations, making it difficult for outsiders to discern where truth ends and strategy begins. Despite these doubts, there have been notable moments when Knight's voice resonated strongly with both fans and insiders. Interviews conducted over the years from prison have revealed a man grappling with his past, yet unwilling to surrender his fight. In some of these sessions, he has discussed the music industry's underbelly, exposing patterns of manipulation and control that few dared to speak about openly before. Knight's continued presence in the media and the legal arena illustrates how prison life has not silenced him, but instead redirected his influence. His life behind bars has become a crucial chapter in the ongoing saga, shaping public perception and adding depth to the complex narrative surrounding Tupac's death and Diddy's alleged involvement. As the trial unfolds, understanding Knight's now prison experience is essential to comprehending the full scope of his allegations and the motivations that drive them. His incarceration has transformed him from a music mogul to a whistleblower, forcing both the industry and the public to confront uncomfortable truths that have long been buried. Suge Knight's explosive allegations against Diddy have reignited one of the most enduring mysteries in music history: the murder of Tupac Shakur. These claims not only shake the foundation of long-held beliefs, but also cast a new shadowy light on the complex web of power and influence within the hip-hop industry. Whether fully true or surrounded by controversy, Knight's words demand attention, forcing fans, critics, and insiders alike to reconsider what they thought they knew. Tupac's legacy has always been larger than life. His music, his message, and his untimely death continue to captivate generations worldwide. The fascination with his story stems from both his artistic genius and the unresolved questions that linger over his murder. Now, with Suge Knight's dramatic courtroom revelations, the conversation takes a profound turn. It underscores the urgent need for transparency and justice, not only for Tupac, but for an industry where power dynamics often go unchecked. Diddy's public image faces serious scrutiny as these allegations ripple across media and public discourse. Regardless of legal outcomes, the court of public opinion is deeply affected. The trial serves as a reminder of how fame and influence can both elevate and entangle individuals in dark, complicated narratives. Ultimately, these revelations invite us to reflect on the broader history of hip-hop, an art form born from struggle and resilience, but also entangled with conflicts and power struggles. The story of Tupac's murder is not just about one man or one event. It is about the intricate forces that shape an entire cultural movement. As we watch this saga unfold, we are reminded that truth and justice are often elusive but essential. They shape how we remember the past and how we move forward, challenging us to look beyond the surface and confront the realities that lie beneath.